The watcher dude turned me on to the Lexicon of Hesychius to check out definitions there. And you can see just from Wikipedia what it says about Hesychius. Compiled probably the richest lexicon of unusual and obscure Greek words, and regular ones too. So here's the thing about the garden. This is Rick Renner, and you can see 1 month ago and then 4 years ago. Look at the word that he's using. Who was the naked boy? The boy in the garden, you can see. Now, interestingly, when Myth and Kip tried to go after the garden story, look what they say. This young man, and the word boy gets thrown in there. By who? See, they're blaming Hillman for saying the boy, as if Hillman's the only guy who said boy. Now, what Kip does is says that this dude's actually wearing a burial shroud, which is absurd. But how long has Rick Renner been saying that there has been a naked boy in Gethsemane, and these guys never said anything? The reason why is because it never had anything to do with anything salacious, which is what Hillman is alleging. So this is Rick Renner 15 years ago, 12 years ago, naked boy, never anyone complaining about the naked boy story until now because of, again, the salaciousness. So this is the Lexicon of Hesychius. You can go there yourself, and you can see it's ordered from alpha down to omega. So I went into new. Here you go. Went into new, and then I put in, I scrolled down actually to neaniskos. I have a hard time saying words with 4 vowels. I'm not going to butcher it, but we see neani. So we're going to look at those 2 words and what they mean. We're going to put both words in the Greek word study tool, recognizing that these are the definitions from Hesychius. And he tells us that this top word, play the boy, attain puberty. And he says the word, where's my pointer thing? So this is nepios. So put this word into, I think that's how you say it. Put this word into Perseus, and what do you get? Infant child. Of children up to puberty. Ooh. The plot thickens, it seems, in Gethsemane, according to Hesychius. So this was from a previous video that I did. You can watch. I've got a couple of Mark 14:51 videos up there. Note here, please, if you would. We'll start here. You see Mark 14:51, Mark 14:51. So these definitions of words come from the Perseus Greek word study tool. This comes from the Interlinear Bible. So there's only 2 words, right? So all we want to do now is figure out who this neaniskos is based upon this new information. So first we know he is sun akoluthe. What does that mean? He is accompanying. In what kind of a fashion? Well, he's closely accompanying, which means he was with, attending to, and obeying. So if you're attending closely and obeying, you are with him all along, and we can see here that it was in a regimented fashion. So this neaniskos was with Jesus in a regimented fashion. Now, Hillman gets criticized for saying, what does he say, assigned to? Well, I mean, that's just whatever. When you're following in a regimented fashion like this, it's not a stretch to use that word, but really what it is, you can see accompanying in a regimented fashion. Well, who is the dude? Well, he is a younger youth. A neanias is an older youth. A neaniskos is a younger youth, an attendant. Mark 14, we're told that this language suits Mark 14. This is a servant of Jesus, who is a youth. And you can see the range can be from children and older. It varies. So I thought, 14 or so. And this picture has been around now since, 1500. So this is a kid who hasn't reached puberty yet. If he has, he's just starting, right? So you're talking 14 or younger for 700 years. Not a problem. Not a problem for 700 years until now because of the allegations of salaciousness. So what does Hesychius tell us about the age of this guy? Hesychius tells us that, again, that you're talking of children up to puberty. So based upon the definition of based upon the definition of neaniskos by Hesychius, we can estimate that this neaniskos was probably aged 10 to 14 years of age. Older, younger, makes no difference. The dude was still naked, but this definition puts it down into the range that Hillman was talking about, which is consistent with what Rick Renner said about Jesus being that naked boy being in the Garden of Gethsemane with Jesus. Rick Renner thought he was a kid who died, was buried in his burial shroud. And Jesus, when he said, I am he, Rick Renner thought that the words I am he caused this kid to be resurrected because he was dead. Now, Myth and Kip don't go in that direction. The commonality between Hillman and Renner is that they both use the word boy. Boy, boy is what Hillman uses and what Rick Renner uses. Based upon the language we can see, this seems reasonable.